taking our very stylish but 90s bathroom and turning it into something that you'll actually love going into. We're not demoing everything, so the things that I'm going to be doing are the simple, easy stuff that makes the biggest difference and pretty much gives you the biggest bang for your buck. The first step to painting cabinets is giving it a very light sand. That's to get off all the old gunk and to rough up the surface for the new paint to adhere to. Now, if you want a professional looking finish on those cabinets, then, well, you're not going to be doing what I'm doing. Yes, I'm doing the step below that, which is using a 1/4-inch nap roller, which does give you a nice smooth finish. But if you want it professional looking, you're going to be using an air sprayer with many thin coats. This was how I took off the mirror in my first bathroom. Now, figure I better give you guys the real tips and tricks and teach you the safe way to take off a mirror. So you tape it so then it doesn't shatter into 1,000 different pieces. Wear gloves, wear safety glasses, and if it's really stuck on there, a great way to get it off is to use shims. Very critical point here, don't hammer the edge of the mirror because that will crack and break it. Once you get some of the glue spots popped off with the shims, then you're usually good to just pop it off the rest of the way. I'm going to make my way under the cabinet to disconnect the water lines, and I'm doing that because my next major step is to remove the countertop. So, makes sense, you got to remove or disconnect everything down below, so then you can take off the top. And don't forget the drain, and then I only had I think 3 or 4 screws actually holding down the countertop to the cabinet. Once all of that's removed, you really can simply just pick it up and take it away. It may seem that I'm jumping around a lot, but that's just because I want to hurry and take everything off so I can get to painting. Check out the ceiling, I've already done that. Most important thing about the electrical side is to, well, kill the power. Yes, sometimes there are 3-way switches involved, which means that there is a hot wire up there, so even though your lights are off, there still is power up there. Not going to waste much time showing you how I paint, so check out the description for the colors and brand I ended up using. And just like that, we're hooking the electrical back up. So it is just as simple as white to white, which is your neutral, black to black, which is the hot, and your ground. Thank you, YouTube community, to point out on my last bathroom video that a very simple step is to actually install the faucet prior to gluing down or mounting the countertop. And I agree, it was super easy. Install the faucets and lines before you actually glue it down. If you go with a stone countertop or a hard countertop, not just a laminate over some wood, then, well, you can't just simply screw up from the bottom. You actually have to use some type of adhesive to get it to stick there. I just used some general purpose construction adhesive and it works great. Anything you buy nowadays comes with their own set of instructions. Now, whether they're in Sweden and they're kind of hard to understand, that's a different story. The point is, they all have their own sets of seals, gaskets, or assembly steps. So read through those to make sure you get everything in the right order and place. Here's a quick note. If you noticed at the beginning when I took off the drain, I kept those 2 pieces right there. Very critical because, well, it saves you a step from going back to the store. You can reuse those with the existing drain. So unless you love making multiple trips back to the hardware store, just save them. It was getting really late in the night, and if you notice behind my left hand there is, well, the drain stopper. And, well, that is kind of an important piece if you don't want leaks everywhere. So let's quickly fast forward, put that in, and test the drain out. I always test the sink up past the overflow, and that's just because it does have a second pathway down to the drain. So check that out. And since I was down there, I actually switched out the lines to braided stainless steel. Kept the outlets for just a couple months because they actually were getting pretty old, so I switched those out for the new, what are they, deco style. Switching over now to the siliconing the gaps. Super easy, lay down a bead and swipe with the finger. Apparently there are a bunch of chemicals that will eat away the back of your mirrors, so there is a correct mirror adhesive to use. All of the big box stores have them, usually they're in the kind of the paint section, with the other adhesives. We did not previously have a cabinet here, and so that was new for the bathroom. And no, I'm not just going drilling holes willy-nilly. I actually pre-drilled them in the cabinet back and then match marked them onto the wall, added some drywall anchors, and voila, it works just great. Now, if you are going to be using a heavy cabinet or a full depth cabinet, you'll definitely want to go through and find the studs for that. After the third coat of paint is dry, we are ready for reassembly. It does go pretty easy because when I take things apart, I actually put them in a bag, mark it, and then when I go to reinstall it, it is that much easier because I know exactly where everything goes. We did not reuse the old trim, and that's because, well, I don't really like the style, and we had this left over from another project. It's some 1x4 MDF pre-primed trim pieces. I really like the pre-primed because, as you saw at the very beginning, I just had to go over it once with the final paint you want, and then after it's all fastened, you just have to touch up the nail holes. The final couple pieces came in a combo set with a towel bar, a towel hook, and a toilet paper holder. So it matched the faucets and we liked it, so we picked it up. Some of the final touches that we ended up doing but I didn't show were we caulked around the baseboards and tub, painted those green door jambs, got rid of the brass colored doorknobs and hinges, switched those out for some chrome ones to match everything else. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.